Hey guys, J-Man here for a comic book review. Action Comics number 1054. I have not gone to the comic shop yet. I probably won't go till maybe tomorrow or maybe the weekend. It's been really busy. I haven't gotten out there yet. Basically, I was only going to get Action Comics and Scorched. So, yeah. I figured may as well at least review these digitally. And that way, I can at least get my thoughts out there. I realized that I never reviewed Action Comics 1053, and I just kind of just skipped that one. Now, I mean, I don't know. It's okay for me. Clearly, Superboy, the Man of Tomorrow, has been easily the best Superman thing. Superman, that so far there's three of those. That's been pretty good, actually. So pretty good. Superman has had some okay stuff recently. Action Comics has always been kind of but let's talk about this one, 1054. This one was pretty good. I'm going to use my space method to review this. So story, pacing, artistry, characters, enjoyment. Each category gets a score between 0 to 2. 2 is the best you can get in a category. You add up all your category scores, you have a final total out of 10. That's your rating. Each comic is rated against itself and its peers. So I'm not comparing Action Comics to Spawn. I'm not comparing Action Comics to Watchmen. If I gave the artistry a 2 out of 2 perfect score, I'm not saying it's better than Alex Ross art or, Neil Adams or something crazy like that, right? I'm also not comparing Rebirth or whatever, Dawn of DC Superman to pre-crisis Superman. Obviously, pre-crisis Superman is the best. I've got a Facebook group for pre-crisis Superman if you're interested. The link is in the description below. But let's get on with it. So the story, I'm going to give the story 1.5 out of 2. It's Metallo. I like that. This issue actually had some good action, and it kind of, it sort of, well, it didn't conclude anything because he's been fighting Metallo recently. It revealed some things that we didn't know. You probably could have guessed, but actually I like the reveal. I'm not going to spoil it. I actually like the reveal, so I thought that was kind of cool. His sister, so Metallo's sister has been kidnapped. Metallo thinks it's Superman or whatever, so he's got to kill the family to get her back, and then he finds that it's not. So they're going to have to team up eventually, right? So that's basically what it is. It's also been talking about the other characters, those other super children people from Warworld or whatever. I did not like that Warworld storyline at all, actually. I liked the concept of it. It should have been 3 issues? That's kind of my problem with modern comics, especially for the big 2, DC, Marvel. They're just dragging them on, and I know what they're doing. They're like, I gotta get 12 issues. I'm gonna make it a trade paperback. I'm gonna call it a graphic novel so everyone can think they're smart reading it. I'm gonna put it in the bookstores, and people are like, well, it's in the bookstore, so it's not just a stupid comic book. It's a graphic novel, as though that means something. It's literally the same thing. It's just I bought it in 12 parts, whatever. I've had this argument with people. They're like, oh, I read the graphic novel Watchmen. Oh, you mean the comic book Watchmen? No, it's a graphic novel. I have the original 12 issues. It wasn't a novel. It wasn't a graphic novel. It's like, oh. And then they're shocked. They're like, oh, right. There were some graphic novels that were just graphic novels, like the New Mutants graphic novel or whatever back then. Now it's just they take stories and mush them together and trade and put them in trades. To me, that's not really a thing. But that's how they tell stories now. But this story was pretty cool, and I did like it, so I'm giving it above average. I'm giving it 1.5 out of 2. That's very good. Pacing, I'm going to give the pacing, I'm going to give it a 1.5 out of 2. I thought the pacing was really good. I'm going to give the pacing a 2 out of 2. And I just like to mention as well, I'm only talking about the Superman story, not the backup stories. They can just dump those backup stories and make this $1 cheaper, or $2 cheaper, or $3 cheaper, because it really should be $3 cheaper anyways. But anyway, there's the story. So if I use, so again, asterisk, I'm talking about just the Superman part, not whatever this crap was. Is this Jonathan Kent? Don't care. don't care, don't care. It's Steel, that's all right, but really he just comes out and says who he is. I'm John Henry Irons and I'm Iron Man. I mean, I'm Steel. That's it, who cares? I do like John Henry Irons, but yeah. So we're not talking about that part of it. Those two stories were like, The main one. So lots of action. So I'm giving it 2 out of 2 for the main one because there actually was a lot of action and it was pretty fast paced and they got right into it. Again, this is the final meetup here with Metallo and Superman, so you expect it to be actiony. The last issue had some fights in the beginning, but then it just got into this other stuff what I just didn't care about. So 2 out of 2 for that. For the artistry, I really like the way Superman looks in this one. And Metallo and his drones and stuff look pretty good. And I feel that it's very bright. Now, again, this is my iPad. I find that the digital versions on my iPad also have the brightness contrast adjusted, come out really, they pop really well. So sometimes they don't come out as good on the physical copy, which I don't have yet. I will get it. I buy every Superman title. But I think I'm going to give it I'll give it a 2 out of 2. I'm a sucker. Look, man, it's Superman. He looks good. Superman looks good. No, I can't. I don't know. It's like everyone else doesn't look very good to me. Like this looks like crap. This isn't an artist problem. This is just a design problem. Like this looks like ugh. I'll still give it a 2 out of 2. For characters, I'm going to give it a 1 because I like Superman, I like Metallo, and I don't care about anyone else in this comic. So I'm giving it a pass for that. For enjoyment factor, I'll give it a 1.5. So that's that 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so I'll give this an 8 out of 10. That's really high. It probably shouldn't be that high. And it's definitely not that high if you take into account these backup stories. So I'm giving it an 8 out of 10 for the Superman parts. Superman is my favorite comic book character. Sorry, he's my favorite character, not just comic book character, my favorite character. So I'm a little bit looser on Superman than I would be on something else. Like if this was Batman, I maybe would have given it like a 7. But an 8 out of 10, that's extremely high for a DC comic about Superman, at least in the modern times. Normally, a lot of these Superman comics range between 5 to 6 out of 10, really. I think I've even given a couple of 4.5s. But I liked this one. I did like it. I'm not going to lie. I liked it. I'm being as objective as I can. I think an 8 out of 10 is perfectly fair. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts were on Action Comics 1054 and 1053. 1053, I'd probably give that like a 6.5. I didn't really analyze it because I just read it and forgot, and now it's been too long. I kind of skimmed it. So it's not really fair, but it probably ranked between a 6 and a 7. This was an 8, but again, this was concluding the battle here with Metallo, and that was really cool. So let's see where this goes from here. I'm interested when they reveal the villain at the end, so that I am looking forward to. So let's see how it all pans out in the next few issues. But I think if you're looking for a Superman thing, go with Superboy. That's your number 1. Number 2 is the Superman solo title. It is pretty good. It's definitely, it may be even that. I mean, I may have scored this equal to that, but that is better in my opinion. It's more interesting with the characters. This one, I just don't care about these War World kids or whatever. And then there's like some protesting in the beginning. It's like, oh, anytime I see protesting, man, in a comic, like, oh God. Anyway, 8 out of 10, pretty high. Let you guys know we are doing a wrestling stream tonight, and this Friday we're getting our final 4 movies for the 80s fantasy tournament, okay? So it's going to be the Warrior and the Sorceress versus the Sword and the Sorcerer. Don't confuse those titles. But this Friday we're going to talk about those 2 movies. And almost every Monday night, three Mondays a month, me, Clobberin Times, and Decepticon are doing the Legion of Superheroes from their first appearance and on. So we're now on their 4th appearance, okay? So that's this Monday. So if you like the Legion of Superheroes or Superboy, join us for that. It's a lot of fun. It's probably like it's probably my favorite stream that I'm doing. And I might even start up a Superboy thing as well. So guys, please, join us on those streams. It'd be great to have you guys on there. And we do polls and we go through the whole comic. We don't just talk about it. We show you the comic and go through the panels and discuss the panels. It's like what was happening, So it's a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys can join us there. If not, then I'll see you in the next video. Until next time.